Hey everybody. If you've stumbled across this channel, you've come to the Always More Photography cancer journey. Our longtime followers have been with us for years, but if you're new here, I just want to say, welcome. You'll notice at this point, there's about 90 some odd videos. So no, I'm not expecting my newcomers to go back and watch everything, but some explanation is needed. So let's get into some of the basics. The entirety of the story is long. It's still ongoing, and it's full of twists and turns that, quite frankly, are miraculous in some places. At the beginning of 2021, my wife, a 23-year-old photographer, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Shocked our lives, turned everything upside down. And throughout the course of us discovering this and figuring out the treatment plan and seeing how things were going to go, my wife felt called to share the journey. She felt called by God to share everything that happens to us, record it all, and put it all on the internet to see. I did not want anything to do with it. I was supporting her. I did not want to agree to this. I felt that this was a private matter, but she saw an opportunity to help others, and she took it. That was my wife. She always wanted to use whatever she was going through or whatever was happening around her to benefit others. And I admired that about her. So reluctantly, I came alongside her for this journey. The first 15 episodes or so are her filming, recording, experiencing things, and essentially editing and uploading these videos to YouTube. And my wife, being the consummate businesswoman that she was, put a lot of effort and energy into making sure the editing was just right. We had sound in the background. We had title cards. And not only that, but she wanted to respond to each and every comment that came her way. And again, I admired her for it. These were all within her skill sets. These were things that she loved to do. So it was an outlet for her, and she got to share this story that she was being called to do. After the 15th episode, leading up to the 15th episode, we began to get more and more behind schedule. After the 15th episode, she stopped entirely. She was just too sick to go on. She was too sick to upload, to do the editing. We never stopped filming, though. She fought this cancer for a long time. In January 2023, she passed away. Immediately, I knew what I had to do. I stepped in and began uploading these videos. I began this arduous journey of continuing to upload the videos and making sure that her wishes were honored. I responded to every single comment going forward. So from episode 16 to episode 90 is me. Along the way, we had many miracles that just came into our lives and helped us along the way. Exact amounts that were needed were just given in donation. Perfect things that we thought were just weird and why would this happen to us happened to lead perfectly into the next step. Every step of the way, we felt like we were being guided throughout this entire thing. And I have to say, it was quite beautiful to witness all of that coming through. Regardless, I'm not expecting you to watch all 90 episodes. I think that would be quite an arduous task. If you're new here, just understand crazy stuff happens right up until about episode 80. When episode 80 hits is whenever we have the big miracle. My wife goes into the hospital unresponsive. Cancer had finally caught up. The the malnutrition, the exhaustion, everything, and her sugar levels crashed. My wife was not responding. If she spoke, it was very confused. It was a nightmare scenario for me. I was watching my wife die. When they sent her home with organ failure, they told her that her stomach had stopped absorbing food, that death was imminent. Give her 3 days to a week or so before she would pass. So I took her home. All the family gathered. They mourned her, grieved, and went home to await the news. That night, my wife, upon entering the room, I was expecting to lay down, get some rest. Her eyes popped open. She grabbed me and yelled, "Get these people out of my house." My wife would go through what's called rallying. It's a process in dying where the individual has a sudden burst of energy. Everyone, meet Milo. Milo runs the show. Milo is Brittany's poodle, and he is the star of the show. Always has been. What proceeded next was several days of continued rallying, continued improvement, and ramping hunger. I would later find out that we weren't supposed to be feeding her. We weren't supposed to be giving her food to eat because just because she's rallying doesn't mean that her organ failure had stopped. Does not mean that her stomach is absorbing food, and we could cause more damage. But my wife kept going, and she kept waking up. And eventually, she had a bowel movement. She wasn't supposed to be having those. By the third day of rallying, I asked my nurse, our hospice nurse, what's going on? What's happening to my wife? All she could do was shrug. What proceeded next was my wife making a complete 180-degree recovery out of organ failure. And that wasn't even the big miracle. The big miracle was that she had, in this time frame of waking up, had reconciled with family members that she hadn't spoken to in years. She had fully reconnected with her father. She had fully accepted the family that surrounded her and completed this healing journey that she had been on for years. This was extra time that she was given to make amends. She would live for 3 more months, exactly 90 days. When everything caught up, my wife went home to Jesus. Episode 90 captures her passing. I don't show it, but you see me. Episode 91 covers me experiencing her memorial service. And from that point forward, I don't shoot any more videos for another 8 months. Currently, it is early October 2023, about 9 months after she passed. And I'm going to keep going with this channel. Why? The cancer journey is over, isn't it? Well, I don't think so. I don't believe it. Just because the journey that my wife was taking is over. Doesn't mean cancer still isn't affecting me. Doesn't mean that I'm still not done going through everything that's in line for me. So that's what the remainder of this channel is. From episode 1 to episode 91, the name of these episodes are Cancer Vlog. Cancer Vlog, episode number, title, date. Going forward, I'm going to change the name. It's no longer a cancer vlog. We've moved beyond cancer. We've moved into what happens to those who remain. We move into grief. We move into trauma. We move into recovery. And I want to capture that. I want to capture that like my wife did. Granted, we'll have to do some catching up because I haven't filmed in about 9 months. But I am a writer. I have been keeping detailed notes. So I have a lot of notes locked away, stuff that I haven't even looked at. So that's what you can expect going forward. My daily life going forward at this point, and a look back at what I was experiencing in the months that just came after my wife's passing. I hope you'll join me for the ride, because it's something. My wife left a mark, a beautiful mark that I know I'll never be able to live up to. But there's something to be said for those that remain, how we move on. This story's for you. The story's for everybody. But specifically, it's a look into what happens to those that remain. So, thank you for following along, if you've been with me from the beginning. And for those of you that just joined up, welcome to the channel.